From a postural perspective, just look at the right hand one there, a bit more kind of tilt there, arms hanging down, little flex in the knees, where the spine angle there to me is a bit too high, your arms are out, and a bit more flex, yeah? So you're just a bit more
legs
that way over. You're just a bit taller in the legs there, and you're bending more from the hips rather than just squatting down with the knees and reaching your arms, okay? So that was the one change there. Face on, like we say, is a much better position from what we did last time, the first session, okay? But look at the difference in this left-hand one backswing now, because you can't really turn as well. Again, if you're in a squat position, it's hard to really rotate anyway. Squat is designed to sort of stay here or absorb a force coming that way, yeah? Whereas in rugby, you never sort of stand tall legs and tilt over, would you? Because they always say low man wins, and that's the way you're going to stay stable, okay, and strong. So that was your backswing there. Very steep and high with the arms. This arm's almost up by your right ear there, okay? Very high. And again, you sort of stood up quite quick. This is your new movement now.
Further away.
Oh, it's much better. I mean, your arms just look longer. You've got more width in the swing. You've got more depth. So the club now, when it comes back to the golf ball, is going to be coming. And I think the term you were talking about was under. We talk about this in terms of swing plane, okay? So if I get straight, that would help. Well, you put a line on there. Now, that's roughly your swing plane. We want that club to be swinging what we call underneath. If we put a line through your neck down to the golf, we want that club to be swinging underneath this one, okay? So as you go back with this one here now, your hands have gone through it. The shaft now is above it. Your hands have smashed that, what we call a pane of glass. As you come into the goal, but now the club has now hit that pane of glass down the red bit here. You look at this one here now, that red line. Your club stays underneath it. Everything's underneath that red line. Perfect. You're underneath that red line. You're underneath. Good shot. Hit the screen, and then the club comes around the corner. Yeah. So the visual, I'll show you a little image now, is basically from... It was 1953. Got a guy called Ben Hogan who caught the pane of glass, where he had a vision of like his neck was sort of through a window or pane of glass, and you swing everything underneath that chord of swing. It's a kind of swing plane kind of game. We're swinging a plane of angle around the ball here now, and that's what we do. And I'd say the majority of golfers who swing wrong generally get steep and above it. So when they come down here now, you see the difference in that club. That club now is just above that swing plane. Whereas this one, when you came down now, is well... I mean, that's a different angle altogether, yeah? Yeah, totally. That's going to hit the ground more that way, whereas that left-hand one's going to hit the ground hard. And what happens is you react to that feeling of, I don't want to keep whacking the ground too hard, it hurts, yeah? Especially the mats get quite firm and thuddy on the ground there, okay? No, and if you're on a golf course and you're chunking out the ground, making divots the size of a sort of size of a 3, then you're going to go, I'm going to miss the ground. And then you react into the ground, not hitting the ground at all. You just thin everything. So you either fat everything or thin it. So it's not really a bit of an option. So so taller legs, tilt more, turn torso. So all the T's, mate. Yeah. All the T's. T, 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 okay? So, just an easy way to remember it, okay? So if you think of a word beginning with T, you're probably not far from it, okay? But that's the key thing in terms of setup. Face-on setup was great. There's sort of that lowercase Y we talked about in the first session, okay? Getting your grip in the position. Now the left hand's in a stronger... Yeah, I feel that's coming a lot more natural. And the thing is, you could see when you first did that, when you first got in that position, you were kind of like, well, where did this go? Now it's like, here's a golf club. Boom. You just stand there. Yeah. And in the same way, this sort of... tilt from the pelvis, taller legs over here, my arms hanging down, kind of in that kind of deadlift position. And setup, I can see my laces, my front part of my shins. I would say on that left-hand one for you could probably barely see your laces if your knees are squat down there and you're pushing out. So just got to find some sort of checkpoints for you there. Exactly, So it's more of a bend over, really. You're bowing. Well, exactly, you're bowing to the golf ball more as opposed to squatting down to it, okay? So if you're getting down low with the knees and lifting the club too high, the club's going to whack the ground very hard behind the ball, which then gives you that impression, my club's too long. Yeah. They're not, I mean, the swings you made there when you did get a good move, and that club was working round here really nicely, and if the angle is more efficient, you come into the golf more in that pebble skimming position we talked about. That's what I need to practice. You get that strike. And I think if you're down the range and you're getting those sort of ones that toe off the end, or you're even missing the ball, believe it or not, that could happen, obviously, because the angles you're changing. On the range, put 2 golf balls there and swing through that gate. Yeah. At home, don't put golf balls, but tee pegs or something on the ground. And I think the thing is, for me, I always say it's about practice. I'm not saying don't go to the range because you want to go to the range with your boy, hit some balls. It's nice to get that sort of father-son interaction, which is good. That's good for your golf. But you go to the range and hit 70, 80 balls. You've done 120 seconds of practice, so basically 2 minutes, You go in the garden or you're on a turf mat, or put your welcome or doormat at the back garden, just put tees on the mat there and just hit shots there for 3 minutes. You've done almost double the amount of time of practice in 3 minutes rather than drive to the range, get the balls, hit the balls, drive home. So you can get quite a lot done in just a small space of time. Yeah. in the garden. I got a net in the back garden. I go in most weekends, sort of just hitting shots in there for like 5-10 minutes, just while the kids in the. I said, you have a few more shots to the goal, then that dog makes a few swings here.
Yeah.
So every week I'm doing probably 5-10 minutes of practice in a 5-10 minute window. Whereas for me, okay, I work, obviously I can go on the range here, but for people to do 5-10 minutes of hitting golf balls, that's a lot of golf balls to actually put that into time. That's probably 4, 5, 6 hours of your week, which people can't do.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So it's working on, again, it's just rehearsing. It's almost like choreographing a movement to the point where you can't not do it, yeah? Learn what the strike is when the golf ball's been hit between that gate and where the strike point is, okay? But the setup's key. So taller legs, tilt more, turn torso, you get yourself more depth, you're going to be coming in shallower. If you've got bent knees, arms outstretched, steep, you're just chopping in the ground too much.
Makes perfect
Good.
sense.
Let's have a few more then, mate, okay? Good stuff.